Hello and welcome everyone back to my channel, and welcome back to my Game of Thrones Legends mobile game content. Today I'm going to do the next in the series of the pro tips videos. This is going to be pro tip number 3, and it's going to be on hero placement in your party and why does it matter. So today, before I start the video, I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers and one of my most loyal content watchers, YouTube subscriber Emmy Ashbaugh. Emmy, if you hear this, I need you to contact me because I have a spot open for you finally. So just go into game and search for Three-Eyed Ravens and apply, and I will accept you. I need you to comment on this video though and let me know what your character name is so that I make sure I get the right person, because I rarely have a spot open, and I have one open today and I'm saving it for you. Okay, so let's get started with the topic of this video. Today it's going to be about hero placement. And when you're doing your battles, I have discovered, well, I discovered this a while ago, but I've really been putting it into practice and it's been working good for me. And that is the position of the heroes in your party. As you can see right now, I have Sansa on the far left, Tyrion, Ghost, Jon Snow, and wow, that was weird. My game just crashed, okay? I'm not even going to cut that out. I'm just going to roll with it. This game is dark and full of bugs. Anyway, so let's go back to where we were at. You can see on the far left I have Sansa Stark, Tyrion Lannister, Ghost, Jon Snow, and Daenerys Targaryen. And that is the makeup of my team. But the placement that I have my heroes in really does matter. Because as we've talked about before, and I guess the best way to describe this is to just go into a battle. This is going to be a little on the difficult side to explain. So I want to basically show you from a battle what I'm talking about. And luckily I haven't finished to start a battle. But the placement of the heroes matters because when you make an attack, like let's say I match these red on the far right, it is going to be a vertical match. So that means that the damage is going to shoot up to the enemy vertically, and it's going to hit the one directly above it and one space to the left of it. And we'll watch that happen right now. Well, actually it just hit vertically. I'm sorry, so I was wrong. But the idea is when you make vertical matches, they attack the enemy that's directly above the lane that you match in. When you make horizontal matches, like these yellows on the right, it should attack both of those characters on the right. Like that right there. Because it's a horizontal match and it takes up multiple lanes of gems. Now, the damage is positional like that, so you got to understand that. When I made that horizontal match just now, the enemy that was on the far left was unaffected because it was not near the lanes of where I was matching. The same thing applies to your heroes. So the placement of the enemy determines when they do their skills, which one of your heroes gets hit. So if that guy, that green guy on the far right, makes a match, Sansa will not get hit because she is on the far left, okay? So if we take that positional damage and we think about it a little bit, that means that the characters that are in the middle of your party have a much higher likelihood of getting hit by a bigger majority of attacks than the ones that are positioned on the far left and the far right. And it's just by, the way the damage is positional in the lanes, how this works out. So when you're thinking about how to structure your party, you need to take that into consideration because, like for me, My beefier characters, Tyrion and Ghost, have really high defense. They have really high health pools and really high defense. So they can handle a lot of damage before they finally go down. Now, Sansa, on the other hand, she is the weakest party member I have as far as defense and health goes. So I put her on a far left or a far right. That way, she has a greater percentage to take less damage than the ones in the middle. So, therefore, theoretically, she will survive longer. The reason why I want to do that with her is because she has a skill that buffs the attack and the defense of the whole party. And I like to try to get that skill off 2 to 3 times per battle. But I cannot do that if she's smack dab in the middle because she dies very fast. But on the left or the right, she survives a lot longer. Now, my thinking behind putting Daenerys in my party, for example, on the far right as well, is she has a pretty decent defense, my Daenerys does, but I want to make sure she survives as long as possible because her skill is so powerful and it hits everyone. And I want to make sure that I get that skill off as many times as I can. So I put Sansa on the far left to help her survive longer so that I can use her skill as much as possible. I put Daenerys on the far right so that I can have her survive longer so that I can use her skill as many times as I can. And then Tyrion and Ghost just kind of hang out in the middle because they're the toughest, so they can handle the most damage. They're kind of like my meat shields. Jon Snow, unfortunately, he's kind of weak. I have him in my party because I like to use him to synergize with Ghost, but he just kind of bites the dust fast because there's really nothing else I can do with him other than just leave him on a second slot closest to the edge, which theoretically is less damaging than a character that's in the middle. So that's kind of my thinking behind this, and if you have any other thoughts that, add to this or negate any of this, let me know in the comments, because I have a feeling that this is one of the smarter plays when it comes to how to design a team. It's working for me very well, and I've tested it both ways, and with Sansa in my party especially, I put her in the middle on purpose to see how it goes, and she dies in half the amount of time than she normally does when she's on the far left or the far right, because she just takes more hits. That's just plain and simple. She'll end up with more damage because of the positioning. So that's your pro tip number 3. Pro tip for the day is hero placement. It is very important, so consider that when you're making up your party that you want to roll with. Who is weak and whose skill is just key to your strategy that you want to make sure stays alive? Put them on the far left or the far right, and I think you'll see an improvement in your gameplay. So, thank you for being here with me today, and I appreciate you watching my content, and I hope you have a great day. Emmy, don't forget to apply. I'm waiting on you. Thanks, guys.